You just got a raise, 15%, maybe even 20. You've been grinding for this, working late, proving your value, and finally, it happened. And you know what you did? Within 3 months, you upgraded your car, moved to a nicer apartment, started ordering delivery 4 times a week instead of twice. And now, 6 months later, you're looking at your bank account thinking, where the hell did all that extra money go? Here's the thing, you didn't get richer, you just got more expensive. My name is Tom, and I spend way too much time thinking about why smart people stay broke. If you're someone who makes more money than you did 5 years ago, but somehow feels exactly as financially stressed as you did back then, hit subscribe and give this video a thumbs up, because today we're going to dismantle the single most dangerous financial trap that keeps high earners living paycheck to paycheck while convincing themselves they're doing fine. And look, I need you to understand something right from the start. This isn't about your morning coffee. This isn't about avocado toast or whatever recycled personal finance cliche gets thrown around. This is about something way more insidious. This is about a psychological mechanism that's probably been operating in your life for years, quietly erasing every raise, every bonus, every windfall you've ever gotten, and you didn't even notice it happening. It's called lifestyle creep, but that name doesn't do it justice, because creep sounds slow, gradual, harmless. This thing isn't creeping, it's sprinting, and it's about to steal your entire financial future if you don't recognize it right now. Now, you might be thinking, Tom, what's wrong with upgrading my life when I make more money? Isn't that the whole point? And here's where it gets interesting, because you're not entirely wrong. The problem isn't upgrading your life. The problem is upgrading your life perfectly in sync with your income increases, leaving you with the exact same financial margin you had when you were making $30,000 less. Let me show you what this looks like with real numbers, because this is where most people don't realize they're stuck. Let's say 5 years ago, you were making $50,000 a year. After taxes, that's maybe $38,000 take-home. You're living in a decent apartment for $1,200 a month, driving a used car with a $300 payment, spending maybe $400 on groceries and eating out, and somehow, you're saving about $200 a month. Except now you're making $35,000 more than you used to, and you have nothing to show for it except nicer stuff that you'll replace in 3 years anyway. This is the invisible upgrade cycle, and it's devastating. Here's what most people don't realize. Every single dollar you allow your lifestyle to absorb is a dollar that could have been building compound interest for the next 30 years. When you increase your rent by $800 a month to live in a slightly nicer place, you're not just spending $800 extra a month. You're giving up $9,600 a year that could be invested. Over 20 years at a 7% return, that's almost $400,000 you just traded for granite countertops and a view. Now look, I can already hear some of you, but Tom, I worked hard for that money. I should enjoy it. And you're absolutely right. You should enjoy it. But here's the thing that nobody tells you. There's a massive difference between enjoying your money and absorbing it into your baseline expenses. Enjoying money is taking a great vacation, buying something you've wanted for a long time, having an amazing meal with people you love. Those are conscious choices that create memories and satisfaction. Absorbing money is upgrading your everyday existence in ways that quickly become invisible. It's the nicer apartment you stop noticing after month 2, the car upgrade that feels normal by week 3, the premium subscriptions you forget you're even paying for. And this is where the psychology gets really dangerous, because humans are incredibly good at adaptation. We have this thing called the hedonic treadmill. Psychologists have studied this extensively, where we rapidly return to our baseline level of happiness regardless of positive changes in our circumstances. That apartment upgrade that felt amazing when you first moved in? Give it 60 days and it's just where you live. Your brain has already recalibrated. The happiness boost is gone, but the expense is permanent. Research from a 2010 study in the Journal of Economic Psychology found that income increases only produce temporary happiness boosts, lasting on average of 3 to 6 months before people return to their baseline contentment level. But those expense increases? Those stick around forever, or at least until you consciously choose to downgrade, which almost nobody does, because loss aversion, our psychological hatred of losing things we have, is roughly twice as powerful as the joy of gaining something new. So you get trapped. You make more money, you spend more money, you feel exactly the same, and then you wonder why you're 43 years old making six figures with $18,000 in your 401k. This is where it gets interesting, though, because the upgrade cycle doesn't just steal your money, it fundamentally changes your relationship with financial security. Every time you inflate your lifestyle to match your income, you're creating what I call income dependency. You're building a life that requires your current income level just to maintain, which means you can't afford to take career risks, you can't afford to negotiate hard because you're afraid of losing your job, you can't afford to pursue something you're passionate about because the financial floor keeps rising. I see this all the time with people making $150,000, $200,000 a year who feel more financially trapped than they did making $60,000. How is that possible? Because they've built a $140,000 lifestyle. They've got the mortgage, the car payments, the private school tuition, the country club membership. They can't afford to quit. They can't afford to fail. They're golden handcuffs, and they put them on themselves one small upgrade at a time. Here's what you need to understand. Wealth isn't built by earning more. Wealth is built by maintaining a gap between what you earn and what you spend, and then investing that gap. That's it. That's the entire formula. And the upgrade cycle systematically eliminates that gap every single time your income increases. Now, you might be thinking, okay, Tom, I get it. Lifestyle creep is bad. But what am I supposed to do? Just never improve my quality of life? Live like a college student forever? No, of course not. That's miserable and unsustainable. But here's the strategy that actually works, and it's so simple it's almost stupid. When you get a raise or a bonus or any income increase, immediately split it. Half goes to upgrading your life, however you want. The other half goes directly to savings and investments before you ever see it. Let me show you how powerful this is with the same example from earlier. You go from $50,000 to $85,000. That's $25,000 more in take-home after taxes. Instead of absorbing all $25,000 into lifestyle, you split it. $12,000 goes to automated investments. $12,000 goes to improving your life. Guess what? You still get to upgrade. You can still move to a nicer place, drive a better car, enjoy better food. But now you're also saving an extra $1,000 a month, which over 20 years at 7% becomes $500,000. You get the lifestyle improvement and you build wealth. It's not deprivation, it's just conscious allocation. And here's the beautiful part. Because of that hedonic treadmill we talked about, you'll enjoy your life just as much with a $12,000 upgrade as you would with a $25,000 upgrade. The satisfaction gap between pretty nice and really nice is way smaller than the gap between struggling and pretty nice. So you're giving up almost nothing in terms of happiness, but you're gaining everything in terms of financial security. This is what financially successful people understand that everyone else misses. They maintain the gap. Warren Buffett still lives in the house he bought in 1958 for $31,000. He's worth over $100 billion. Now, I'm not saying you need to be Warren Buffett, but I am saying that the wealthiest people in the world understand that every dollar spent on lifestyle inflation is a dollar that can't compound for you. Here's the thing that nobody wants to hear. If you're making good money and you're still stressed about finances, it's not an income problem, it's a lifestyle problem. And I know that's uncomfortable to hear because it means you can't just wait for the next raise to fix it. You have to make actual changes. But those changes don't have to be dramatic. You don't need to sell your car and move into a studio apartment. You just need to stop the bleeding. You need to recognize the next time you're about to make an upgrade and ask yourself, is this something I'm choosing consciously because it will genuinely improve my life in a lasting way? Or is this just the next step in a cycle that's keeping me broke? Because here's what's at stake. Your future self is counting on you to make smart decisions today. Every time you let lifestyle creep steal a raise, you're not just losing that money. You're losing the compounded version of that money over decades. You're losing options. You're losing freedom. You're losing the ability to retire early or switch careers or weather a financial emergency without panic. And look, I get it. It feels good to upgrade. It feels like you're winning. It feels like you're successful when you can afford nicer things. But here's the brutal truth. Looking successful and being successful are completely different things. The person driving the leased BMW with $4,000 in savings isn't successful. They're just expensive. The person driving the paid-off Toyota with $200,000 in investments? That person has options. That person has freedom. That person is actually winning. So, here's what you're going to do. Right now, today, you're going to calculate your current savings rate. Not what you think it is, what it actually is. Take your monthly take-home income, subtract everything you spend, and see what's left as a percentage. If you got a raise in the last 3 years and your savings rate hasn't increased, you're in the cycle. And then you're going to make one decision, just one. The next time money comes in, whether it's a raise, a bonus, a tax refund, whatever, you're going to save at least 50% of it before you make a single lifestyle decision. Automate it. Move it into investments before you can spend it. And then, and only then, you can decide what to do with the rest. This isn't about deprivation. This isn't about living a smaller life. This is about building a life where money works for you instead of you working forever to maintain an inflated lifestyle that doesn't even make you happy. The invisible upgrade cycle only works if you don't see it. But now you do. And that changes everything. Hit that subscribe button if this resonated with you, drop a comment telling me what lifestyle upgrade you're going to rethink, and I'll see you in the next one.